Imagine this, while you're watching this video from the comfort of your home. Somewhere in a scorching desert, 4 men have been living inside a steel box for 3 weeks straight. No shower, no real food, no contact with their families. This is the crew of an M1 Abrams tank on a combat mission. The temperature inside their tank right now? 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like sitting in a sauna, except you can leave a sauna after 15 minutes. They can't. In the last 3 days, they've slept a total of 8 hours between all 4 of them. Today I'm going to show you what their life really looks like, the stuff they don't tell you about in the news or in the movies. And trust me, after this video, you'll never look at a tank the same way again. But before we climb inside, let me hit you with a few facts that might surprise you. Fact number 1. The crew of an Abrams tank sits surrounded by 42 rounds of ammunition. Each round weighs about 50 pounds of explosives and metal. If even one of those detonates inside, the turret, all 20 tons of it, launches straight up like a champagne cork. This isn't an exaggeration. They call it Jack in the Box, and it's every tanker's worst nightmare. Fact number 2. The Abrams gas turbine engine burns fuel at a rate of, hold on to your hat, almost 2 gallons per minute at idle. Just sitting still, this beast drinks a regular car's gas tank dry in 20 minutes. Fact number 3. When the tank fires, toxic gases are released inside. The crew has a special ventilation system. If it fails, people inside start losing consciousness after the 3rd or 4th shot. Fact number 4. And this one's my favorite. The driver sits in his compartment practically lying down. His escape hatch measures about 24 by 16 inches. That's smaller than a school desk lid. And if the tank flips over or catches fire, he gets out last, if he gets out at all. Now that you understand the stakes, let's get to know this machine a little better. So, the M1 Abrams, 68 tons of American steel. To put that in perspective, that's the weight of 40 Ford F-150 pickups, or 1 Boeing 737 without fuel and passengers. Imagine stuffing an entire airplane onto tank tracks and sending it into the desert, and this whole thing accelerates to 45 miles per hour, 68 tons flying across the desert faster than you drive on the highway. When you see it for the first time, it's scary. When it's coming at you, it's even scarier. The heart of the Abrams is a Honeywell gas turbine engine. Same type they put in Black Hawk helicopters, 1,500 horsepower. Sounds powerful, right? You bet. But there's a flip side. This engine drinks fuel like, well, let's say like your neighbor drinks beer during the Super Bowl, about 100 gallons per 60 miles. Not a typo, 100 gallons. Good news, the engine's a multi-fuel, runs on diesel, kerosene, jet fuel. Rumor has it, in theory, it could run on tequila. We don't recommend testing that. And here's something else you need to understand. This engine runs constantly, even when parked. Because without it, the targeting systems, electronics, communications, none of it works. Turn off the engine and the tank becomes 68 tons of useless metal. That means constant noise, constant vibration, constant heat from the running turbine. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, let's talk about the guys who operate this monster. The crew, 4 men, just 4. That's fewer than you need for a basketball game. And the responsibility. 68 tons of armor, 42 rounds of ammunition, and a mission that hundreds of other soldiers' lives might depend on. First, the tank commander. He sits on the right side of the turret and everything's on him. Where to go, who to shoot, when to retreat. He's not just a commander, he's the brain of the whole machine. A good commander will pull his crew out of any situation. A bad one will get everyone killed in 5 minutes. Here's the interesting part. The average age of an Abrams tank commander is 25 to 27. Imagine, you're 26 years old and your decisions determine whether 4 people make it home, including yourself. To the commander's left, the gunner. His job is to make sure a $10,000 round hits exactly where it needs to. First time, it ranges up to 2.5 miles at a moving target while your tank is also moving, over rough terrain, under fire. The best gunners can hit a car-sized target from 2 miles away. First shot. They're respected, feared, and very, very protected. Behind them, the loader, the only crew member who works by hand in a world of automation. A round weighs almost 50 pounds, like a bag of cement. And this guy grabs it, maneuvers it in the cramped turret, and slams it into the gun breech. Then the next one, and the next. In the heat of battle, a good loader fires 5 or 6 rounds per minute. That's lifting and loading 300 pounds in 60 seconds. In the heat, getting thrown around, with gunfire thundering all around. If there was a CrossFit for tankers, loaders would win without training. And finally, the driver. He sits separate from everyone else, in the front of the hull, practically lying down. His seat reclines at just 13 degrees from horizontal. That's how he spends 12 to 16 hours a day, in a position that would destroy an average person's back in an hour. His hatch is his only way out, 24 inches in diameter. If the tank takes a hit, if there's a fire inside, if the turret jams, he has to squeeze through that hole, in full gear, possibly wounded, possibly in smoke. Tankers call the driver's position the coffin, not to be mean, just honest. Now let's climb inside. And forget everything you've seen in movies. In movies, tanks are spacious inside, clean, with blinking screens and comfortable seats. In reality, you're in a space the size of a closet, with 4 people, plus 42 main gun rounds, plus machine gun ammunition, several thousand more rounds, plus gear, food, water, personal belongings. Turning around is a problem. Scratching your back is a quest. Your neighbor's elbow is constantly in your ribs. After an hour, you start understanding why submariners are so weird. After a day, you respect them with all your heart. Now about the temperature. Remember the gas turbine engine? It throws off heat, lots of heat. Outside, it's the desert, 120 degrees. The engine adds its share. The metal armor absorbs the sun and heats up. The result? Inside the tank, 140 degrees, sometimes 150. That's the temperature where bacteria start dying. And a human being is supposed to work, think, make decisions. Aim a gun at a target that's going to shoot back in 3 seconds. Metal surfaces get so hot they leave burns. Seriously, second-degree burns from accidentally touching the armor from inside. That's why experienced crews wrap everything in tape and rags, not for looks, for survival. And here's another nasty surprise. When the tank fires, the gun breech recoils backward with tremendous force. If anything's behind it at that moment, an arm, a leg, a head, that something ceases to exist. In the cramped turret, you need to watch for this constantly, every second of combat. Get tired, relax, turn the wrong way. You're crippled or dead. Welcome to the tank. How do you like it? Okay, the day's over. Heat, shooting, dust, sweat. Night has come. Time to sleep. And here's the question. Where? Sleeping inside the tank is physically impossible. Sitting in there is a problem. Lying down is fantasy. You can curl up between the ammunition and pretend you're resting. After an hour, your back will tell you exactly what it thinks of your career choice. After 2, your legs start going numb. After 3, you'll be dreaming of a firing squad as a mercy. So crews sleep outside. The most popular spot is the engine deck. That's the flat surface at the back of the tank, above the engine. At night in the desert, temperature drops to 40 degrees, sometimes freezing. But the engine is warm. Lay out your sleeping bag, lie down, and you've got heated floors. Just on 68 tons of armor, another option, under the tank. You stretch a tarp from the hull to the ground and you've got a tent. Protects from wind, sand, surprise rain. Yes, it rains in the desert, and it's nasty because it's unexpected. But there's a risk. If orders come to move out immediately, the tank might leave, literally, leave without you. Or over you if you don't roll out fast enough, so only the most exhausted or the dumbest sleep under the tank. And about the sleep itself. Forget 8 hours. In combat conditions, the crew splits the day into shifts, 2 hours sleep, 4 hours on duty. Then rotate, total 4 to 6 hours of sleep per day, broken into 2-hour chunks, in uncomfortable positions, on rocks, on metal, on sand. After a week of this life, you forget what well-rested means. The word loses all meaning. Your eyes close on their own, while walking, in combat, while eating. You learn to sleep in 10-minute bursts, 5-minute bursts. Close your eyes for 3 minutes. That's already a gift. Veterans say, after the first week, you stop being human. You become something like a zombie with shooting skills. You work on autopilot. You don't think, you just do. They call it combat sleep. You're not really asleep, but you're not really awake. Something in between. And honestly, it's terrifying. All right, somehow we slept. Now, breakfast. Just kidding. There's no breakfast. There's MRE, meals ready to eat. If you translate honestly, something that can technically be eaten. Each packet contains about 1,200 calories. The main course, some mysterious mass with a name like beef with vegetables. Looks like, well, let's say my Labrador makes something similar in the backyard, but it's nutritious. That's what matters. With the main course comes a side dish, crackers, spread, peanut butter or cheese product, candy, drink powder, instant coffee, and a little bottle of Tabasco. Without it, they say, MRE is completely inedible. You heat it with a chemical heater. Pour water in the bag, put your food in, wait 10 minutes, or the smart way. Put the packet on the tank engine. 30 minutes later, hot lunch. Army ingenuity in action. Now about the side effects. MREs are designed to last for years. To achieve that, they pack in so many preservatives, stabilizers, and thickeners that, how do I put this? Your intestines go on strike. Soldiers joke that MRE stands for meals refusing to exit. After a week on these rations, going to the bathroom becomes a holiday, once every 3 or 4 days. And that's not a joke. Some soldiers bring contraband, normal food from home. Hot sauce packets, beef jerky, nuts. This stuff is worth more than money. Seriously, for a can of real stew in the field, you can trade for anything. And here's another detail. When you eat the same thing every day, 3 times a day, for weeks, food stops being a pleasure and becomes a duty. You don't want to eat. The sight of those brown packets makes you nauseous, but you have to, because without calories, there's no strength. It's like filling up your car. No pleasure, pure function. Food is only half the problem. The real problem is water. In the desert, a person needs at least 1.5 gallons of water per day. That's just to not die. To function normally, 2 to 2.5 gallons. 4 people, 1 week, that's almost 80 gallons. Imagine how much space that takes. And weight. Water is carried in containers strapped to the outside of the tank. Under the blazing sun, the plastic heats up. The water inside becomes the temperature of hot tea. You drink it and can't believe this is the same liquid you once poured over ice, and you're constantly counting how much is left. When the next supply run is, how much you can drink today. It's like watching your gas gauge on an empty highway, only the stakes are higher. Without gas, you're stuck. Without water, you're dead. Dehydration sneaks up on you. First a headache, you blame the heat. Then leg cramps, you think you sat wrong. Then you start mixing up orders, forgetting words, seeing things that aren't there. When you get to that stage, you're already a problem, not a soldier, a burden. So the rule is simple. Drink even if you don't want to. Drink while there's something to drink. It's an order that saves lives. Now, the topic that Army recruitment ads tactfully avoid, the bathroom. Inside the tank, there are no facilities, 0. For number 1, a bottle. Yes, a regular plastic water bottle. Each crew member has his own, labeled, so you don't mix it up with the drinking water. For number 2, outside only. You grab your entrenching tool, walk about 50 yards from the tank, dig a hole, do your business under the open sky in full view of vultures and, if you're unlucky, snipers. Toilet paper from the ration pack, strategic value. After a week in the field, for a roll of good paper, you can trade dessert, tobacco, or even first dibs on reading a letter from someone's girlfriend. Hygiene in general doesn't exist. There's no shower. Water barely covers drinking. There's nothing left for washing. All hygiene consists of baby wipes, the same ones you use at home to wipe your hands. You wipe your whole body with them. Armpits, groin, between the toes, 3 critical zones. Do that in the morning. You've had your shower. Uniforms don't get changed for weeks. They turn white from salt. That's crystallized sweat. The fabric stands stiff, rubs your skin raw, smells distinctive. My wife wouldn't let me in the garage, but when everyone smells the same, nobody complains. Shaving is optional and painful. Without water, without foam, you scrape your face dry with a razor. It's called dry shaving, and it feels exactly like it sounds. Most guys just grow beards and hope command looks the other way. The main problem is chafing and infection. Dirt, sweat, uncomfortable positions, skin protests. Chafed spots get inflamed, turn into sores. Talcum powder and baby powder are a tanker's best friends. Without them, after a week you won't be able to sit. And in this environment, dirty, stinking, sleep-deprived, half-starved, they have to fight. Operate incredibly complex equipment, make split-second decisions, hit the target on the first shot. If you thought war was just shooting and explosions, now you know the truth. And one more enemy, invisible but merciless: sand. It's everywhere, literally everywhere. In your eyes, ears, nose, mouth. You wake up and your teeth crunch. That's not a metaphor, that's reality. Sand packs between your teeth overnight. Inside the tank, sand is a deadly enemy. Clogs filters, scratches optics, gets into mechanisms. Don't clean it. Tomorrow the equipment fails. So every day, hours of cleaning. Blowing out, wiping down, picking it out. Especially weapons. A grain of sand in a rifle's bolt, and at the critical moment, it jams. A grain in the turret mechanism, and it stops rotating. So cleaning is a sacred ritual. Every evening, in any condition, even half dead from exhaustion, first you clean the weapons. And then, the sandstorm comes. When you see that orange wall on the horizon, a mile high, you know the next few hours are going to be hell. All hatches sealed. Inside, can't breathe, heat intensifies, visibility outside, zero. You sit in a dark burning box and listen to billions of sand grains hitting the armor, like someone pouring gravel, for hours. After the storm, the tank looks like it was dug up from underground, completely buried. Hatches won't open, antennas, sights, machine guns, all clogged, and you start all over again, digging, cleaning, blowing out, hours of work to get the tank combat ready again. So that's it, the real life of an M1 Abrams tank crew. No Hollywood glamour, no heroic posturing, just 4 men in a steel box in the middle of the desert. They sleep on armor and under the tank, eat food that refuses to digest, drink hot water from cans, go weeks without bathing, shaving, hearing their families' voices. And through all of this, they do their job, every day, no matter what. Next time you see a tank on the news, remember, behind that armor aren't machines, people, just like your sons, grandsons, neighbors, guys who miss home, dream of a cold beer and a hot shower, and who, despite everything, climb into their burning steel box and do what needs to be done. These aren't movie superheroes. There's something more serious. Ordinary people who chose a very extraordinary job, and you, from the comfort of your home, can simply say, thank you. Sometimes that's enough. If you found this video interesting, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you don't miss new episodes. In the comments, tell us, maybe you served yourself or someone close to you? What stories do you remember? See you in the next video.